Good day to you, our viewers. Thank you again for viewing another Explore Corner. And of course, you're seeing a familiar face, a very familiar face, not only in Grenada, Carriacou, and Puerto but the entire region, internationally as well. The famous Kim the King, and as my brother, the Riddle Master, may his soul rest in peace, Curtis would say, KDK, Kim the King, right? On camera, we have Basie. Basie, are you there?
I'm here. Did
Right.
waiting to hear Kimi bring back the history.
Right. This is an interview that we wanted a very, very long time ago. Whenever we travel to America, a lot of people have been saying to us, you're speaking about growing up in Carriacou and sharing people stories and experience. Why not interview Kim the King? I know that that is someone who has done a lot for Carriacou and will have a good story speaking about his business, where he had a supermarket, his song system, because he used to DJ a Calypsonian, the Hideaway, a Dynasty. Well, a lot. He has been doing a lot. And some people may say, oh, Kayak 106. Some people don't even know about Kayak 106. So he has been doing a lot for the island. And this is something that I think that we have to thank Beryl for, because I remember I met his daughter in America. His daughter said to me that she's a doctor. I'm like, I didn't know Kim had a daughter in America. She said, yes, he used to live up there. I'm like, I didn't know Kim used to live in America. And when I came back from America, I came straight to Kim. I was like, listen, a lot of people want to hear your story. Even your daughter said that she wants to hear your story. I didn't even know it well. She used to look at, well, I didn't know her in the first place, but a lot of people look at the Explore Carriacou and Puerto Martinique. When I came, I spoke to Kim about it. It was like, yeah, sometime we go do it, man. We go find some time to do it. Every time I go back by Kim, yeah. But he's so busy between the radio station, between the supermarket. We never really had that time. So I think we have to thank Beryl now that we're finding some quiet time with Kim. Kim, you're not so busy, you know, right?
Not at all.
First of all, I mean, it's a pleasure I am interviewing you today. What a privilege. Oh. Because whenever I come to Vibes 101, I am always in the hot seat. Kim is interviewing me. But
it's your turn today.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, Kim, well, first, before we go into that, how Beryl treat you?
Bad enough. As a matter of fact, I mean, I've never seen anything like that. Yeah. I've been through quite a number of hurricanes and, warnings and everything like that. But this one goes down in history. And believe me, I don't want to ever have to go under another barrel again. Barrel is coming, I try to find some cover and go someplace else instead of being around here. No, it was very, very bad, But we're trying to recover. And the recovering process is going to take a lot more time, because planning and everything like that is important now to make sure that if it does happen, reoccur, you never know, we'll be in a better position to handle it than we were when this first one came, So,
well, the radio station is back up now, but tell us about the supermarket and your guest house.
Well, everything was basically destroyed, and my passion, which is radio, I had to go for that first, because if I didn't do that, I might have been in a madhouse, maybe not having anything to do, because realizing that the supermarket will take much longer, the guest house will take much longer as well too, so I had to get something to occupy my time and keep me sane until we're ready to open up again. Supermarket is going on pretty good though. As a matter of fact, we anticipate within another couple of months, we'll be able to open officially. And the guest house will follow maybe a few months after again, but it's a process. So, we're in a situation now where, you got to take it one step at a time. And hopefully in the very near future, we should be back to better than normal.
In Jesus' name.
Yes. Yeah.
I remember the first time I visited you after the hurricane, and I looked at you, I'm like, Kim, that is not you. And I was a bit worried. But when you got the radio station back up and running, I'm like, I'm happy to see you now. That is the Kim the King I know.
Yeah, well, that's it. You see, once you see your mind is not strained and just being unoccupied for a long time, you sort of bring it back into your regular routine, and then you're able to, get back into whatever you enjoy doing. And like I say, radio, being on air is my passion. So, He's got to put that spark again. The ignition started, and that's what we're going at this time.
Yeah, with your passion, you have been doing a lot for in terms of spreading information to the world, and we have to thank you for that.
Well, it's important, because you see, we in Carriacou is a very small island. We're very only 13 square miles, and if we don't speak out to let people know where we are, who we are, we're not going to be heard at all. So my whole idea is that with the technology like internet and everything like that we're able to access, and we have the best. I'm very proud of that. Too, it's an avenue for us to start to excel to the world and let them know where we are, what we're doing, and people appreciate that, because the thing about it is that we in Carriacou never had the exposure to the outside world as we have now.
Right.
So it's important for us to get the ball rolling, and that's what the radio station is doing, and I'm very proud of it. I intend to do it as long as I can.
In Jesus' name.
Yes.
Of course, you're bringing a lot of people to the shows as well. A lot of people have been saying that they didn't know about Carriacou, neither Pichi Matnik.
Yeah.
And by listening now,
But we're no longer a dot on the map again.
Right.
No, not at all, no. We're more than that. We have voice to be heard. And that's the bottom line,
Amen. Right. So, Kim, so let's go into business now. We're going into the thing now. So, you used to live in America. That's where you started. Oh, no. First, all right. So, where your professionalism started? Was it in Carriacou or America?
Well,
you started working.
Well, I started working in Carriacou. As a matter of fact, going to school, as people would know, from one present government school, That's where my education started. And then from there, I moved to Bishop's College. And that's where I got, in those days, it was GC, now they have CXC. But it's all in the same kind of wavelength, And from there, I started teaching at the age of 15 and a half.
Oh, really?
Yes, 15 and a half. As a matter of fact, when I was teaching in the Hillsborough junior secondary, the Hillsborough Junior Secondary School, my students, were older than me. Yeah. But for somehow, I was able to get their attention and walk along with them, because they were basically, I would say, not really peers, but, pretty close to that, 17, 18. I was 15 and a half, thereabout. But I got a lot of respect from them, and I started my teaching career for quite a number of years, before deciding to travel. But what has brought me into the limelight earlier than teaching is because of my getting involved in Calypso. And this is something that was, again, I love doing. And at age 9, I started singing Calypso, been in competition, 9, 10, You
remember the name of that first Calypso you sang?
The first song I sang was 6 Pounds of Cotton. I never forget.
Do you remember any line in it?
6 pounds of cotton couldn't buy a pound of mutton, because cotton was 10 cents a pound. And mutton was $1 a pound. So 6 pounds of cotton was 60 cents. And mutton was $1. And we were in the fields, growing up as kids, picking this cotton, and it was very tedious.
Oh, you pick cotton as well?
Yes, you're kidding. That's how we started off, with cotton and things like that. Because, in those days, it's cotton, peas, groundnuts and stuff like that for export. And they had a ginnery in Hillsborough. So, you had to pick the cotton and clean it and sell it. And I thought that was too laborious, especially for a kid. You don't want to be in the garden there in this hot sun and picking this cotton. But anyway, it was a way of survival at the time. And then when I resent doing it, I composed a Calypso. 6 pounds of cotton can buy a pound of mutton. So why are we doing it? Why are we planting it? And that was the beginning of my Calypso career, which was very popular at the time.
Right.
And I started off there, and I remember a couple of years into Calypso, about age 13, I won the crown.
Right. I meant to ask you, so during that time you had Carnival?
Carnival was, yes, but Carnival not like today. But it was just like a day for celebrating. But what I like about the Carnival in those days, especially when it came to Calypso, in that we were going around the different communities, all the schools, and we had what they call tents. So, you would appear, say, in Mount Pleasant this week, and then next week you might be in Dover, The following week you're in Abbeville, then you're in Leicester. So you're going on different beats because there was no radio for us to communicate and people to hear what's going. So unless you bring the music to them in the community, they wouldn't even know what the song is. And not even that, there was not much ways of recording it either. So which means that if you didn't go there to hear it,
you wouldn't hear that.
You wouldn't hear it. You wouldn't know what was going on. You know. So this is one of the reasons why I say I like that aspect there. We were going into the different communities. We call it tent, and then Carnival Day. Well, everybody come in town, and whatever happened for that day, that was it.
So that was like during what period? The 60s, 70s?
The late 60s into the early 70s.
Okay.
That was our Carnival. You know, that was it. You know, but.
So you sang that song?
I've got a number of songs that were very popular because I used to get this is what I call the hook lines that people love. You know, I remember singing one, take a big stone and knock out Shijabun, neighbor it to damn advantage. And everybody liked the chorus, take a stone and lick out Shijabun. The word lick out, you know, was a kind of vicious word, you know, jabon, you know, which would associate with people, they could understand that, you know, these are the things that you
So you used to write for yourself?
Yes, yeah.
Nice.
I started writing very, very early, you know, I don't know where I got a skill from, but I was writing for myself until up to today. I mean, very little was done. I know my brother, my elder brother, you know, who was very good too. So we used to write sometimes together, you know. And because he was good. He was a little bit more advanced in writing than me. But I was the type who loved the stage more than him. So I would showcase whatever we did. And nobody would know.
So you used to win crumbs.
Yeah.
Crumbs.
But then after that, after teaching for this while, then I decided to go to the States, you know, because I love teaching to a certain extent, you know, when people have seen results, but I think it was too hard, too much work. We, the teachers, had to work harder than the students, because in those days, especially when being a teacher, when you have to prepare the lessons and there's no computers, there's no nothing. If you have to get diagrams, you have to get Bristol board and you have to draw maps and everything like that, you know, to put in the classroom so they would understand. So preparation was so much that at the end of the day, you're tired more than the students, and you still have to prepare for another day. So this is one of the things I didn't enjoy that much in the teaching aspect of it. Like today, it looks much easier. After that, I just decided, well, when I was chosen to go to teachers training college to get certificate one, be a certificate one teacher, you know, and I was 2 at the time and certificated 2. I decided, no, I can't take that, especially when the government was saying that, you know, that when you're finished, you know, you have to commit a certain number of years, you know, to teaching because of the training they would have given you free. I said, no. So
that was before independence?
That's before independence, yeah. 1970, 71, thereabout, I decided, let me exit to the US.
You went up to the US. So in those days, you had to get visa?
Oh, yes, of course you had to, yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't difficult for me to get one because, you know...
So you went Barbados?
I went to Barbados. You know, first time I traveled, I remember traveling on an aircraft for the first time, you know. And I got my visas. And then to me, when I got the visa, I smiled and I said to my brother, you know, I got a permanent visa. And he just laughed at me, you know, because... But I didn't really plan on coming back when I went to the US. Because I believed that, you know, I would be able to broaden my skills and, you know, the experience out there. It would help me when I'm ready to return back to my country.
Right.
And it did, because getting involved in the US, you know, and working and seeing what's happening out there, you start to take notes. So whenever you go into your own business, because in New York, I went to a business of a nightclub. I remember Raw Gardens, and I was together with a partner of mine now, 52, you know, and well, that was okay, but the music was always in me, and I never really wanted to stay out in the US as long as to come back at an old age, back to Carriacou, because I believe that we as Carriacouans should try to build our country rather than building someone else's country.
Okay.
So after spending quite a number, spending about maybe almost 20 years in the US, I decided it was time to pack up and come home.
Fit, you mentioned the nightclub. You have to tell us about the nightclub. What was the name of the nightclub?
The name of
where you had the nightclub?
The name of it was Rock Gardens.
Rock Gardens.
Rock Gardens was located on Lynden Boulevard and Pennsylvania Avenue.
Okay.
Right outside of Star City. And it was popular too, as because West Indians, Grenadians, and everybody support you, when you're in this kind of business. But besides that, I was a DJ in New York. So I used to play in the different nightclubs. That's where I got popular. Okay. With the music, different nightclubs, different backgrounds, like the promoters from Trinidad, Grenada, St. Vincent, and Lucia. Even the Americans, I was very popular with them because at the time, I remember in the 70s, the disco music was kicking in from the R&B. Yeah. Nice. And I loved it because it's more like a more faster beat, and being a DJ now, you start rapping, and that is where I started now the idea now of being on microphones because I was told, I was good. So I say, well, if I'm good, then I have to develop the good one.
So they referred to you as Kim the King then?
Yes.
Oh, you had another name?
No. I started off my DJ career as DJ Rasco. I never forget
DJ Rasco. You're the Rasta?
But what happened is that we had a competition in New York, and all DJs coming together, big, massive ballroom. And it was 22 DJs. I never forget that. Wow. 22 of us. And we were lined up around the perimeters of that ballroom. Yeah. And then the crowd was there. And then we had to go on, and they give each of us about 10 minutes to play music because we're plenty.
Okay.
So each one had 10 minutes.
So it's like a clash.
Yeah, it's a clash.
Right.
And when I went on there, I remember I was telling some of the guys, I said to them, listen, when you see I'm going to turn my system on, you guys better turn off because I go boom up the place.
What?
And they were laughing, whatever, but I knew the strength of my system, because I knew whatever. And I remember when I turned on my system to play when it was my turn, boom, 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 and you hear the bass line and everything come up, and boom, boom, boom. The lights went out, the breaker tripped.
What?
I never forget it. The breaker tripped,
Howard.
What?
So they had to find the breaker, turn it back on, and then everybody turn up.
Well, they had to disqualify you too.
Well, I didn't perform as yet. Yeah. And then after I got on the mic, well, that's I started rap now, and thing like that. That's where I became the champion.
The heavyweight champion.
The heavyweight champion.
Kim the King, the heavyweight champion.
But the name Kim the King didn't step in yet.
So it wasn't Kim the King, the heavyweight champion. It was just the heavyweight champion.
Right.
Okay.
Right. And then I remember a good friend of mine named Sandy Clifton Caesar. Right here. And he said to me, you is the king. And he said, Kim the King. And he called me Kim the King. And then that sort of like stuck. I said, well, that sounds good. And I took it from there on. And then Kim the King, the heavyweight champion. And that's where the heavyweight came from.
And I forgot about DJ Rasco.
Yeah. That was past tense.
Nice.
And now I moved into that,
Right.
And then not too long after that, I decided to come back home.
Okay.
Because as much as I was doing well in the US, Carriacou is my home.
Right.
And I felt more yes, that's it, And at the time in the 80s, I realized that the Brooklyn where I was, it was changing. It was not the nice environment no more. It was starting to get violent. But not as bad as today. But it was changing, and I saw that, and I decided,
Definitely.
Time for me to pack up and come back home and make a contribution. And with my experience out there now in the music, and with my job out there when I was back in the US too, I was in supermarkets.
Okay.
I started off as a stock boy, they call that, just packing shelves, whatever. And then I rose to the level of management, and then I went to all these stepping up the ladder, supervisor and everything like that. And with that experience that I had there and seeing back in the 70s, my experience whereby when there was a depression in New York and most businesses were closing, but all supermarkets survived. I said, if I have to ever get into business of that level, supermarket would always live because people have to eat.
Okay.
And so I took that up. And when I came back here into the music, my little store I started off with, and that grew from that into the supermarket. But first of all, when I came back here, as you guys might have known, with the music, the Hideaway, the nightclub in Montreal.
No, we don't know. The people who don't know, tell us about the Hideaway.
That's it. Well, the Hideaway was back in those times. Music. I mean, there were little parties in Carriacou and little things like that, but there was no real place to congregate and socialize, on a regular basis, roadsides where you call like Block O and them kind of thing like that, So I decided, no, we have to move it to the next level. And with my experience of what I had in New York in my nightclub, the lighting, the setting was different. So I brought that setting here.
Yeah.
When you go into the night, the strobe lights, all the globe lights and everything like that, flashing here, there, and everywhere, mirrors and stuff like that.
Oh, you had that in the Hideaway?
Yeah. That was the Hideaway, and it was well designed, and it was very successful as well too.
So how often you used to have party there?
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
I thought it was only around Christmas.
No, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday all year.
Christmas is
that's.
I remember I used to want to go party in Montreal, and Mommy used to tell me, no, I can't go.
You're too young. You're too little, man. No.
But we go in and serenade. I want to go after you serenade, you go in party.
No, you're too young. You're too young to come there. And that was it every weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, that was it. And then we extended after. But you see what happened is that the nightclub in Montreal now outgrew the crowds were too much.
Okay.
So I decided, and then my supermarket now, which was about one of my goals too, I happened to be able to get the space in town to build it. So when I was building it now, then I realized now that I could have the supermarket on the first floor, and on the second floor now I could put the nightclub, a bigger one, so I could do shows.
Okay.
And that's where Dynasty came in. So
Dynasty
is came from Hideaway into Dynasty.
So listen, Dynasty is where we are now. Was it?
Well, upstairs.
Right,
Upstairs. Right, yeah.
So I want people that don't know. So do you know Kim's Supermarket or Kim Guest House? Kim's Plaza Guest House or Supermarket. So upstairs where the guest house is?
Yes, where the guest house is now,
that was Dynasty. Party.
Yeah. And that is now where we were able to do shows now.
Right.
Like I would promote a lot of the artists from Grenada, especially guys like Specky. We always talk about that. Ajamo.
Yeah, man.
Randy Isaac. Each and every one.
Always say break out here.
Because I promoted them,
Yeah.
And all the promotions are very successful. And these guys would always remember that. And so I'll bring up these big shows almost every weekend. Because Dynasty would hold a crowd of at least about 500 people. And that was a nice crowd, to have, for a show. And most of them, all the guys, named Sheldon Douglas, all these guys, I remember Psycho Bob.
Oh, Psycho Bob in the house. Nice.
And
Extract.
We had,
Oh.
And not even that, the birth of that band with BC and them, what do they call them?
Extract.
Not Extract, no. I'm talking about no.
Oh.
BC in the police band.
Oh, BC in the police.
Heatwave.
I
I was the one that gave them the name Heatwave too.
Oh, really? How?
Yeah, because you see, when the police band now, because of my sound system that I had, when the police band would come to Carriacou now, they no longer come with their speakers and equipment. I have the mixers and the boards and everything like that, and the speaker system. So all they have to do is just plug into me and make it easy. So they would just travel with the instruments, basically
Okay.
the instruments and the drum set. I didn't have a drum set. That was all they used to come with.
Okay.
And I would supply them with the rest of the stuff.
Hmm.
And they did that was it. And then after a while, when I wanted them to perform with the artists, that's outside the box of the mission when they would be employed, like say with the Parang committee,
Mhm.
Carnival committee, then I would take a section of them and bring them. And then we call that heat wave because they were very good. But that was the music side of it. I never forget it. But then at the same time, while that was brewing now,
Mhm.
I decided now, well, Kayak Radio had to come.
Mhm.
That was because we need to get out.
Information
Yeah.
out.
And in those days, radio was not, there was no radio in Carriacou.
What year was that? Kayak Radio.
95. 95, yeah.
Okay.
So I decided to go and get a license, which was a little difficult, but anyway, we succeeded.
Mhm.
And then that came Kayak Radio. And then we started to train the staff now, who was not Fabulous was one, Skipper,
Yes.
guys like Michael J, never forget him, guys,
Right.
Uncle P
Yes,
became a
man.
star
Of course.
and stuff like that. And we had a lot of females and everybody like that. That's where Cool Sandy,
Cool Sandy.
all these people came from
Yes.
from Kayak Radio because I was training them. Although
The lady, she
Yes.
died recently.
that's April.
April
Shawers.
Shawers. Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
all was from Kayak Radio.
Right.
And we worked together because just imagine an inexperienced person training inexperienced people.
I guess that is what made it so good.
That was yeah, and
Michael Ward.
all of us,
Yes,
everybody worked together nicely,
Nice.
and we've developed Kayak Radio, and it
Nice.
became very popular
Of
because now
course.
in those times Kayak Radio, there was no radio in the Grenadines. So we became now the voice of the Grenadines. And that is one of the reasons why sometimes we used to go to visit the different islands, like we go to Union Island.
Yep.
With the radio, we go up to Canawan, Mairo, Bakeway.
Remember
Yeah, you remember all
Kayak
this?
106.3.
That's it,
Yes.
And-
Nice.
And that was it. But it was a success.
Of course it was.
And
It
then,
was.
and then,
Enjoyed listening to the station back then.
and then from Kayak Radio now, this is where you get vibes now.
Right.
Get
But
vibes.
before we go into vibes, we have to go on the motorcade. Christmas come in. We all look forward to that Wrong Day Island motorcade. Kim the King, a life at kicking, oh Lord, throughout the island.
the motorcade,
Oh my God.
that motorcade still in the minds of a lot of people.
Of course.
Do you remember I
what,
told you how to do that again?
because what happened, you see, it brought joy
Yes.
to the people wherever they were.
Yes.
And I never forget it because it started off, I remember the first time when I decided to do it,
What year?
that was 96, I think it was. Yeah, because I was just about getting around 96.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tell us how the idea came about.
The idea came about because I realized, like, when I was growing up, you used to hear no music for Christmas, but sometimes older guys, I remember Champion and them guys, with string bands, might be in a car and going around the different villages, and once you hear the sound of a string,
Yeah.
you just get your attention and you're coming out to the road to see what it is, even though it passed for just 2 seconds, still it
Lights
brought
you
joy.
up.
It brought joy to you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
but from remembering that, I decided, well, if I could do it, especially with a sound system on a truck, then it would bring more joy to more people, and
Nice.
and that's how the motorcade started.
Nice.
And then it grew so quickly because the first time I remember we didn't have much people because they didn't know about it. Because in those days, again, there was no way of communicating to let people know you're coming.
Right.
But then after now, with the birth of the radio and able to know,
Tell people.
let people know, that was it. So they expect the motorcade coming,
Oh
and
my
then
God.
coming was not it. They wanted to be part of it. So now the Hideaway, which we started off there, will be filled all nights, waiting for the motorcade to start in the morning.
So Christmas Eve party.
Christmas Eve party, start partying since 6, 7 o'clock in the evening, all through the night.
What?
Yeah. And 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, we close down
And jump on him.
and go on the motorcade.
I remember Curtis and them used to do that.
Yes. Yes.
I used to want to come, but I couldn't come. I was too young to.
No, yeah.
But I remember a morning, boy, I hear the music coming across because them time I can't sleep here. There's no motorcade taking place. And the sun started rising. And I remember saying, Mommy, Franklin, I wake up, Christmas coming. The motorcade are here, you know. And I say, Christmas coming.
Yeah, right, okay. But it was,
because that was like Christmas for us.
and what happened there too now, in that the villagers were involved in it as well. They loved it. Because when the motorcade passed in, let me tell all the guys something. What used to happen is that people would prepare their drum table and have it in the front of the yard, waiting for the band to pass. But what really made me, wanted to do it year after year, is the appreciation that people were showing. Now, for instance, when I go into some of the villages, especially Mount Pleasant and Granby, because I'm from Mount Pleasant, right? And you will see this table set there, waiting for the truck to pass with the music.
Yeah.
And in many instances, when we get there, the older folks, they'll say, hold on a minute. Kim has to come first to bless the table so we could, before anybody else could get.
So that would basically get it from.
So I would have to come up the truck and go and bless the table and take a little piece, whatever, because sometimes you eat so much already, but still you have to show appreciation.
Yes.
And then the rest of the people would come and they would share, get drinks, whatever.
So how you used to bless the table?
Well, I just say as prayer, whatever comes in mind at the time, Lord help us,
Oh, I thought you had a speech.
No, it was spontaneous.
Okay.
Well, because you don't practice anything. It just comes from within, the way you feel at the time, and you thank the person for providing it, and ask for blessings on them as well too. And then we start eating, and that was it.
Yeah. Nice.
And we go from house to house, but you have to be on the road, on the main road, and so people come out. And stuff like that. But what used to make me get excited is that sometimes you might see a house on top of a hill, and you might see an older person, maybe in the 60s, 70s, come out to be visible, and they're whining, and they're dancing and waving some kind of flag.
That brought the joy of the season.
And when you say, look at mommy up there, and you see mommy waving some kind of bouquet or some flowers or some thing to make you see them,
And if you go in there, Kim on the mic, say, look at that.
Yes, look at that. Yes, that's it. You recognize them,
Yes.
and say Merry Christmas.
Oh,
and you wave
that's
at them.
nice.
It was
That
nice.
used to be nice. Listen, basically, I want to show the people. Not Chris, but Kim is such a Christmas person. He don't decorate already. Decorate already.
And not even that. One of the songs, let me see, because we're in the studio there.
Yes,
one
man.
One of the songs that the culture, the song that was hitting on the DJ, which people always remember, is this one. Let me see if I could find it.
Yes! Yes, I remember it. That was this song. That is. Oh, and Kim the King. The light man kicking. Kim the King. Yes, I remember that. Yeah, man. That is it. Oh, God. The motorcade coming. Yes. Yes. Oh, God. Yes. Oh Lord.
You feeling
You
it?
bring back, of course, you bring back some memories, there, Kim. Oh gosh.
No, that song, believe me, up to today still has the vibes, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
Because
man.
it was played throughout the motorcade.
Yes.
And you see mommy coming out and whining.
Yes.
Everybody.
And again, Merry
To the
Christmas,
ground.
everybody. And you go, we used to sing it. And I said,
That's our culture.
And they sing that. You couldn't even go nowhere. You never went on a motorcade. No, you.
Shako.
Yes, man. Yeah, man. Oh, yes.
Are you joking?
Yes.
That was it. And up to today, if we have to have a motorcade again, which I've been thinking about it,
Yes,
I'll be
we should
honest
do
with you.
one. We should do one.
I've been thinking about it, but you see what happened? I get so involved now with business, so busy.
If I had to plan.
And you have to,
You have to commit to those things.
Yeah. And every year,
Because you're trained to do a motorcade.
Then
they should.
But it takes a lot.
It takes a lot.
It takes a lot of planning, time, and stuff like that. But hopefully, I intend to do one very soon.
Yeah,
every
that
year
would be really nice.
Every year I'm doing it. Every year I'm doing it. But come December, when you see the workload, especially my businesses and everything like that.
Busy.
I don't only have one business. I have a few businesses.
Yes.
It kind of make me get tired and say, oh boy.
Because that's when everybody comes to Carriacou, so they sort of feel that's when everybody doing like a last Christmas shopping. So a lot of goods coming up.
Yeah, the
radio station. Yes.
But those times we're never going to forget them.
Never.
We'll try and organize it, but you'll come on the truck
and be the voice.
Put the voice on.
Well,
you'll be the voice, of course. 2
years ago, I organized up until December. And then I had to just...
I can't believe for you alone.
So what I decide now, in doing it, and as a matter of fact, I've been speaking to the guys already, and I don't know, maybe it could even be done this year, in that rather than me, as I used to do in the days gone by, organize everything, I would dedicate certain things to certain people.
Right.
So I say, listen, like Boss is my boy, and I said to him, listen, you would provide the music,
right?
And whatever it costs,
I'll organize it for you.
You eat it. Yes. I'll say to a guy, listen, we need drinks on the road.
Of course.
So what you do, organize a bar, and then I'm not looking for any money or nothing for myself.
Yeah.
But if you could just get that, I would, and I plan to donate the T-shirt because you see, with the motorcade. We used to have collars.
Oh, really?
And T-shirts, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So once you had a T-shirt of the motorcade, that entitles you to a free ride on a truck. I used to provide trucks. So I'll pay for all these trucks. And once you have one, so you see sometimes a truck is passing inside the motorcade, colorful.
Yeah.
Blue, red was the colors, and stuff like that.
I didn't know that.
It used to be, And some people still have T-shirts.
Yeah.
They sometimes take a picture and send it for me and say, you remember this?
So what you used to write on the T-shirt? Motorcade?
Motorcade, yeah. Annual motorcade, I think. What is it, boy? Something, I don't remember now. I have to see a T-shirt to remember that. But every year, I will put the year though.
Nice.
So you see like 95, 96, 90, whatever.
Oh.
So you know exactly, what year that T-shirt was printed. But that's what we used to do. But it was nice.
Nice. So listen, while we're talking about Christmas, you used to sing Param? You ever sang Param?
Yes.
Eastern
Bees. Well, BC would know Eastern Bees.
No, I want to know if you were with them.
We won. I remember winning the crown. We won the crown title in 19.
So y'all beat Ghetto Boys?
Yes, we beat the first time we beat Ghetto Boys. But let me tell you something. The second year, I never forget it. When Ghetto Boys came in with a chorus line, check the time you wake up this morning.
1991.
91?
Yeah.
Right. When they came with that day, I mean, really, that was a bomb. We came second.
Okay.
Because they beat us bad.
So who are in your band?
Me, my brother Chris, Goosey, Babu, Johnny, Carlisle, Roy was there too. Yeah, we was about, but we were limited to 8 persons.
Right.
In those days, you couldn't be more than 8 persons, and we formed the band, and that was it. That was the Eastern Bees. But then in 91, as you just remember, when Rhino came out there, and Rhino had this big hit, and he was a good artist too.
Yes.
And he had the back and everything like that day. I mean, he crushed us so bad. Believe me.
So
y'all don't go back. Because I would agree with you, because I used to get fed up too with Ghetto Boys. Every year they win. I think they won 10 straight.
Yeah.
Every year Ghetto Boys win. I said, oh God, I mean,
No,
tired.
but they were good.
But they said, thief them.
No. They were really good. And you know that they changed the style every year. So it was not that one thing. And so if you try to duplicate them this year, they change next year. And then they were very creative.
Yes.
That's it. But Parang was our thing too. As a matter of fact, I've been involved in Parang. And it was nice until that time. After that year, 91, finished with it. Can't match them, guys. Say, listen, that one is not mine.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and the Vibes FM was the last. But no, before Vibes FM, you sat on any committees?
Yes. Well, I was involved, in the Carnival committee for a number of years, Regatta committee, there again, and what other committees we had there? I worked together with the Parang committee. Yeah, because what happened in those days is that Parang was in the courtyard the night of Parang. That was it. You wouldn't hear nothing else after that with Parang.
So the thing, whatever there.
See, that's it.
And
but you see what happened now? Because of the system I had, I was able to tip the Parang while I was playing. The Parang was being played because I supplied music. So I
Young Curtis.
Yes, right. So I would tape the Parang, and then now what I would do after that now, I would duplicate tapes, cassette tapes, because people had a lot of cassettes.
Right.
So I would duplicate the tapes, give it to the Parang committee as a contribution, and they would sell it.
Okay.
And that's where the Parang got to recording where the Parang came in. And I did that for quite a number of years.
Okay.
But what sort of made me stop doing it is because when I came now with the radio and then playing the cassettes now with the music back on the radio, and we online and it's being heard everywhere, and the name calling became a little bit of an issue because people didn't mind the night of the night they sing it and they don't even remember.
Right.
And you say, boy, you make the Parang, and the people, that was it. But then with the tips now, with the music, it became a problem now, over and over.
Yes.
People started to dig up, and I say, you know what?
Yes, that caused an enemy.
I finished that. I ain't recording again.
And then what used to happen again, like some people, they would have something with somebody during the year, and because they know, well, they'll sing Parang, they just go and sing on that person.
Right.
And then do nothing. So they used to get kind of personal.
Yeah. So
and then imagine your name going outside there for something you're innocent
and sometimes the thing is just embarrassing.
Yes.
So that's when I uploaded Parang, and I say, you see me? I finished that. Yeah,
it wasn't like creative writing.
No,
it gets a bit personal. Yeah.
But when it comes to getting involved and most of the committees and everything like that in Carriacou, I was one of the chief advocates. I remember even with the Carnival, you guys wouldn't know how we ended up getting the Carnival Monday and Tuesday as sort of a holiday. Well, for the schools in particular. Because in those days, because Carnival, after the revolution, it disappeared, There was no Carnival.
Oh, I remember Bob Adams said
So Bob Adams and these guys, with the Abraham and then in Brunswick, decided in 1987 to bring back the Carnival.
Right.
And they came back with it. So now in 1989 I said, well, if we have to make the Carnival bigger, we have to get the kiddies Carnival.
Okay.
So we went into the schools, and tried to get them. But then we had a problem whereby there was no holiday.
Okay.
There's no holiday for Carnival. So now how do you get the kids to participate and get permission? So I remember writing to the administrative in Carriacou here. I think it was John at the time, McDonald, I'm not sure. I don't recall. Anyway, asking to make it a holiday. And so we could, the kids could play the mass. And we had a rough time in getting that. They didn't decide to do it. So I say, you know what? I went into all the schools. I organized the bands and everything like that. And then Monday, the kids come in town to play the Carnival.
Okay.
And if the kids not in school automatically had to close. And parents had to come too.
Okay.
Because they want to see the kids.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
And,
Uh-huh.
and right there and then.
And then school friends would want to come and see their friends in the band.
Right.
Of course.
And that was it.
Of course.
So yeah, I remember they talked, they said, Kim pull a fast one on them boy. Yes, no. If the kids not in school, they can't in school, so the teacher will come too.
Right.
And the parents coming too.
Right.
So automatically we get the Monday and Tuesday now for Carnival. And the kids Carnival, everything was involved. Because I remember we used to showcase in the tennis court the kids Carnival the Thursday. Because the Thursday before Carnival, and then they come in town for the jump up with the parade and everything Monday and Tuesday. And then after a while, if the kids on the street, everybody on the street, automatically the stores are closed because there ain't nobody going to the store.
Right.
So the holiday.
So the holiday kicking.
So that time we didn't have Juve. Yeah, Juve those times?
Juve was more in the villages.
Okay.
In the villages, the morning of Juve, like, I remember, you did the different communities, and that was Juve was never really in town.
Okay.
In those times, no.
And they had old oil back then?
No, old oil was no. I remember used to see more like the Juve was like old mass.
Yeah.
So you dress up with the things in the village, and you going through, demonstrating, you might have something dragging behind you with a plaque or whatever in the villages. It was never in town.
Oh, never in town.
Well, if it was in town, I could tell you, because of transportation, we were not able to go to town to see thief. But I believe there must have been one in town too.
Yeah.
I know there was in Mount Pleasant, there was in Six Roads, Brunswick, different communities where there was a pretty old mass. But the Juve now with the old oil, that thing came like moved from Grenada.
Okay.
When the jab and started to spill over the Carriacou.
But you had Shakespeare.
The Shakespeare was it.
Back then.
The Shakespeare was
okay.
it.
Okay.
That's it. In all the different villages, but that would have a clash. But I don't think the clash ever met in town. I think the clash used to be in Six Roads, Brunswick. Brunswick, that's where the clash was. But now they're trying to bring the clash that outside and then come into town for the display now. Because it become like a tourism product,
Right.
So people come to see Shakespeare and you see it in town. But that was it. But I remember the Carnival in those times there, it wasn't easy getting it through. But like I was saying in the beginning, getting involved in all these different communities for all this time, I mean, really, broaden my assistance. I give a lot of assistance in whichever way I was asked to. I was there.
You get it done.
Yeah.
And what Christmas was like back then, in your time?
Well, Christmas growing up was very quiet, except we would have like the Christmas day with the steel band would come out in the different villages,
Oh, yeah, steel band during that time?
Yeah, we have
Steel band with 4-string music.
Yeah, the steel band was there, As a matter of fact, I remember we having a steel band in Mount Pleasant, and I was in charge of the steel band in Mount Pleasant. And imagine I was just about 13, 14, but I love pan. I love music.
So you had pan throughout Carriacou? I think I remember Mr. Leo saying
Leo and Solar Symphony, that's Leo. And then from Leicester, Dixie Stars from Abbeville. Mount Pleasant, we had a band in Mount Pleasant. Bogles had one too. Six Roads had one too. And things like that. And that was it. Because, and what I remember about the Christmas in those days too, in that Christmas Eve night, the Anglican church is filled with people. The Catholic church is filled with people. All the churches are filled with people. But waiting for church to over, because we in town now with the steel band, waiting to start once church is over. So now when the church is finished now and people come along from church and you started jamming the streets, well, they forget about what they just heard in the church.
So where the steel band used to take place in town?
In town.
Okay.
Christmas Eve night. Yeah.
Okay. So all of them in town playing? Okay.
So yeah, because I remember, the late Enel out of Leicester, they were very good. They were very, very good.
Yes.
And we from Mount Pleasant decided that we were going to clash that Christmas Eve night. So what we did, we took the pan from Mount Pleasant the Christmas evening for the Christmas night, right? And in those days, there's no trucks, so you had to carry the pan with the straps around your neck.
Wow.
So we carried those pan all the way from Mount Pleasant, imagine, walking to Hillsborough.
What?
We congregated around Silver Beach area. But we don't want Leicester, that Solar Symphony, to know that we were there. Because they were down by the church, down by Amigo, down by the funeral home down there. And they down there. And we imagine the base, 6 base, 5 base. We have to drag all these things all the way up on this kind of wheels. We used to make the wheels out of wood and nail as the axle to get it with aloes, greasing it to get it to tongue. But we start since the evening because there's no trucks,
Right.
and we're pushing these things up the hill, push them down the hill. And when you get into tongue, you have to do repairs. You walk with nail and hammer and everything like that, you know, in the area where you congregate, you know. But that Christmas in particular, what I remember about it is that Enel didn't know that we were coming out. We knew they're coming out. But we decided that we were going to drown them out. It was like a clash. And when the church was over and the bell rang, we crank up. So they were coming up from the side, from the Lauriston side there. And we were coming from the Silver Beach end.
Okay.
And we're going to meet by the post office, the administrative building there, because that's the area where everybody gathered, the little bus, whatever they had at the time. And we jamming. Well, the best man go prevail.
Right.
But what we did, we had a heavy beat rhythm section. They were fine tuned. And they were real professional. Class. But we were more heavy in weight. So we had more bass. And we had a lot of dupe. You always call it dupe in those days, you know. And we had a lot of iron steel. And then instead of having all the cellos and all the double second, whatever, we had more guitar pan for rhythm. And believe me, we drunk them out. I never forget it. And I remember he spoke about, every time he see me, he spoke about that until he died. He said, boy, you pull a fast one on us. Redom, man. We were redom.
You surprised them too.
Yeah, and they were surprised, they were shocked, you know. But again, it was nice. It was nice. Because it was, you know, all done in nice spirits, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Not thing against anybody, you know. It was just like we laugh it out and say we beat all them. You know? Yes. And that's it.
And the women used to go out caroling.
Yeah, well, the Hosanna bands
the girls
used to go out, you know, in the different villages to carol all long before Christmas. You take in different villages, different times, whatever. And they would go throughout the island until Christmas Day. But it was more in those days when you go out there, it was not a money thing. It was more bringing joy.
Yes.
And then sometimes, you know, if you get something to eat, a little drink, a little cake, whatever. Yeah, that was good enough.
Yes.
You know, so, you know, but that was the Christmas spirit at the time. So, yeah.
And then, like, the men, well, I guess women used to go to Hosanna and the men with the string bands to different village.
Yeah, well, you used to have string band, but you see, in those days, not much people had, you know, bands, you know. I remember the one that was very, very prominent was the one with Kai and those guys and Champion and those guys from Six Roads.
Okay.
They were very, they were the band, you know. At the time, in a string band, you used to have in the different villages. You might find a guitar, a quattro, but not to really form a band.
Not all the instruments.
So sometimes, you know, on a Christmas day, maybe one guy with a guitar might be going around with a couple of friends, and when they, you know, they just knock whatever, but not organized as we would have now. But you know, enough instruments to make an impression. You know?
Okay. And the homeowners looked forward to that.
Well, yeah, because you see what happened in those days. If the band was to pass and they didn't pass by you,
that's trouble.
That's problems.
Trouble.
No, you feel bad. You feel they didn't pass by me.
Something.
You know why? Something wrong. Why they didn't consider me? You know, this kind of, you know. So you had to pass house to house. So it was yes. And then and sometimes if they know the band is what used to happen too, in that the little serenade you're doing there, if they're up in a like away from the road, you know, they would send maybe one of the kids or somebody down there on the road to meet you to say, come with me. Mommy said to come up.
Oh, nice.
So you have to go. You can't
pass straight.
Right, yeah. That was the Christmas spirit.
Oh,
very, very nice. But we
need something Christmas Eve night. So like how you said that you all used to have that thing in tongue. Yeah, we need something that people could go to Christmas Eve night and enjoy themselves. I mean, I know people just have party, but not everybody wants to go to a party. Something kind of cultural. Yeah. Yes, yes.
But again, like I say, the Christmas day
Mm-hmm.
is that day that people used to look forward to, because you're waiting, anticipating. And then what we used to do with the motorcade too, in that I used to walk on the truck with a transmitter, and I would tune in the transmitter to the music on the truck, and people would tune in the radios in the house, so they could sometimes know where we are before we get there.
Okay.
So, you know,
cool. Yes.
right.
I think I remember that.
So
I remember
you
that.
could tune in.
Yes.
So now they could, because people would call me trying to find out now where the motorcade is.
Right.
Where the motorcade is.
Because you want to prepare.
They want to get ready. But then if they turn on the radio, then they would know.
They would know.
They would definitely know. Well, how far we are. We are approaching.
Yeah,
And once you get it close enough, then they start hearing the music itself on the trucks, rather than, because what happened, the vehicles in line were playing it off the truck as well. They turn on the radios. So it was like an echo coming through the village.
Nice.
And it would be nice. But
Nice.
one of the problems, if I were to just track back a little bit, we used to have with the motorcade, is that, one, the amount of vehicles became a problem when you have to turn.
Oh, right. Yes.
The turning was a problem. Turning around was a problem. So we had to start to figure out, well, which way to go to avoid a turn. So sometimes
you can't go into Windward.
We're going into Windward. We used to go into Windward in particular by Sunrise Disco.
Okay.
Because our aim, you see, Sunrise Disco on that night would have a massive crowd.
Yes.
But our mission was to go and break it up. I'm being honest. We go in there to break it up.
Forget the dance and we're going to serenade.
So when we get there with the motorcade and the sound system and everybody and all the trucks, everything like that, everybody move out of the disco to see what's happening outside.
No man go vex with you.
Well, yeah, I mean, we used to be annoyed about it, whatever. But that was it. And then now we're going to take that crowd, because half of that crowd was waiting to join us for the motorcade. So that was, I remember, so we had to go into Windward.
Yes.
And turn by Norman. And that was it. And
the good old days. The good old days. The good old days. Listen, so the last one now.
Yeah.
Vibes FM 101.3. What year you started that radio station?
Well,
this one now.
This one now is 2013.
2013.
Because the reason I even I moved from Kayak Radio to Vibes FM is because I realized that with technology rising, we had to move to another level. And the people that I was involved with was not interested in moving it forward now.
Okay.
And I look at it as a bigger investment, so I had to sort of rebrand.
Okay.
And go into Vibes FM, which is a big plus. And that's why Vibes FM is a continuation of Kayak Radio, but in a different sense, whereby we rebrand and we move to that level now. So, and that is why it's recognized all over, because now when you hear Vibes FM, that's Carriacou.
Yes.
And people tune in now.
Yes.
And then we have a massive audience out there.
Yes.
Because what happened is that you have a lot of people in the diaspora that are waiting to hear what's happening in Carriacou. Carriacou is the birthplace. Carriacou is a concern. Carriacou is where they have the families. So, as much as they might be living in another country.
There's Carriacou and Pitty-Matnick. There's a lot of people in Pitty-Matnick.
Right, Pitty-Matnick. Yeah. But that is it.
Yes.
And they want to know what's happening. And then now Vibes FM has gotten so popular that even mainland Grenada now is even listening to Vibes FM even more than maybe Carriacou and Pitty-Matnick, because now it's a different vibes here.
Yes.
Because you see, they want to know what's happening in the Sister Isles.
Yes.
Because and that's it, so that's Vibes FM now.
Nice.
And I'm very proud of it too.
Of course, you must be proud. And people can go on TuneIn to be tuned in.
Yes.
Yeah, it's online. Yeah, man, it's online.
That's it.
Yeah. Kim, congratulations, man.
Well, I mean, you should congratulate me so much, because I'm ready. Like whatever I do, it's Carriacou in mind.
Right. Of course.
Believe me.
Well, that's why
whatever
I came
do,
back home anyway.
That's why I came back here to build Carriacou, whatever contribution. And I always encourage people to come back home. Like you see, for instance, you notice there's a nice relationship between me and Leo in particular. Why? Because we were in New York together.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I thought it was Leo and George Andrew. Oh, so you?
No, yeah, me and Leo were very, very tight. Flamingo with music. I used to play Flamingo all the time, whatever. And then when I realized into that his mind is in Carriacou, his heart is in Carriacou, everything in Carriacou, and he body in New York. I said, no.
That's true.
I have to join this guy. And I get the same kind of feeling, So
nice.
everybody who come into Carriacou now come back and make a contribution in some kind of way. We can all do the same thing,
Okay.
And he look what he has done.
Yeah.
I mean, he's done so much for Carriacou.
Oh, so your relationship started a very long time ago.
Long time. And wanting to develop your country, your island, in particular, Carriacou, Pitimatnik, is what was on our minds. And I'm so glad that we would. And I encourage people now, come back.
And do the same.
Come back and do that. Somebody have to keep Carriacou on the map.
Yes.
And we no longer a dot anymore as far as I'm concerned. No. We are item.
Yes.
We getting recognition.
Of course, yes.
And even as you realize too, in that burial just passed recently, but the storm chasers were able to come in because they heard about Carriacou.
Yes. So a lot of people who never knew about Carriacou know about Carriacou. No?
Right, because that's how they get to know. And they know
because of the hurricane.
Because of the hurricane again.
Yes.
And because of us now getting the word out there, being on radio and all different waves, they get to realize that there's an island named Carriacou. There's a place named Carriacou.
Yes.
So let's head for there.
Yes.
And that's it.
That's a plus for
it is,
Yeah.
So.
I remember after the hurricane, I did an interview with BBC, and they were like, they never heard about Carriacou, and they're happy to know about Carriacou now.
Right.
And they would share that, and they shared the news clippings. So a lot of people through that know about Carriacou. Yeah, so Beryl did us a bad and a good too. Because people hear about Carriacou and they want to come to Carriacou now. People would continue doing that.
What I see coming out of this burial, hurricane that just passed, is that Carriacou now would be elevated now to another level.
Yes.
In building.
Yes.
And getting recognition, because now people have learned a lesson.
Yes.
It's been very, very bad. We've never seen anything like that now. So I could guarantee now that within the next 5 years, when Carriacou is, back to you wouldn't be normal, it'd be above normal. Because you would find much more, things happening in Carriacou, and Carriacouans are making that effort to move Carriacou forward now. So it's good.
We have to. Tim, thank you very much.
Well, thanks.
You have said a lot. Keep up the good works, man.
I'll try as much as possible, as long as I have life, health, and strength.
Yes, we look forward to the motorcade. We look forward to a motorcade. Listen, I'm listening now. Just tell me to organize a motorcade for you. You're not going to get it done, right?
All right. Well,
before Kimmy left, you have to say that phrase that you always say when you're signing up on Kayak Radio.
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
Yes, I remember that. When you gotta go, you gotta go.
I'm the man
of action.
It's your man of action,
satisfaction, money back. Exactly what I mean when I say
so. You got this get that from?
Yes.
Because it's always used to say that thing.
Yeah,
nice. You hear that?
Yeah.
You're a little sleepy, like you're ready to go and sign off.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like something hours in the morning.
Yeah.
If it's 12 o'clock, you're signing off. You hear that?
Yeah.
You gotta go. You
gotta go. Listen. Let's end the live now. Let's come down to Christmas, and we end with a Christmas song.
Yeah, of course.
Let's get that posse.
Where is
posse?
You have to put that posse before you go.
Well, you see, the thing about it is that Percy was the one that used to be with me to wake up.
Yes, man.
All the time, and no matter what. And then the thing about Percy is that Percy was living in the back of the studio.
Yeah.
Now, some people didn't realize was a real.
I know that.
No, he was real.
Yes.
I didn't know it was real.
No, it was
He
real.
recorded Percy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Percy was living in the back of the studio. So whenever Percy would hear the music, Percy started crowing in the morning. So then I would have a microphone close to the window.
Oh,
So I
recording posse.
Recording pussy all the time.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's
Interesting.
yeah. That was it. That with
So
pussy.
you recorded the fall crewing.
Yes, and but a lot of people don't know that.
I didn't know that.
Recording that
Yes, I thought something got online.
Nah, he took that live.
No. That's real life. And what happened to it with that is that I had it on cassette.
Mm-hmm.
That is real. I had it on cassette, and then I decided now to put it on the radio on CD, and then bring pussy in.
Okay, and your daughter, because there is a child saying, "Daddy, how many days to Christmas?" So which one of your child is that?
That's the last one. That's Katie.
Ah, Katie.
Yeah, Katie.
Ah,
And again, she come into the studio and did that.
yes.
Yes, she came to the
Katie's a
studio.
brave child, man.
I remember
Brave little
when
girl.
Kiwi says, did Katie come into the studio and he recorded that? She would have go. She live. I have to take
She used to be on the radio station reading news and giving poem, and yeah, she's a brave girl.
No,
She's
she's very talented. Yeah.
She's very talented.
And the
She
thing
plays
about it-
music,
She get it from the apple tree.
of course, yes. Oh, so there's something I didn't ask him if he could play any instruments.
Yeah, well, guitar was my favorite.
Ah,
Guitar, I used to play the guitar. As a matter of fact, YTT, back in 1970-71, used to have a smaller team. So the big boys like Tambran and what's the name? Alexander, Leonard, and them guys. Whatever. When they finish playing, and you have intermission, because they didn't have no DJ to play nothing. So intermission now, we will go on as the smaller team
okay.
and entertain. We're not as professional as they were, but we were trained and we could roll in.
Right.
So
Mills, it was me doing that interview with you. I would have spoke about it when you came from New York. You came down with a live band, a matter of fact, with instruments. They used to practice in the rectory.
right, yeah.
Right.
Your
So
father,
that's
I
why
used
you're
to be
here.
there. Yeah, I used to be there.
Yeah,
That's why I get into band.
Right, okay, right.
So-
The music, because you see what happened is that I always like instruments and music.
Yeah.
And then even when I was in New York, I was in a steel band and stuff like that there. And when I came down, I decided that we had to have a band
Yes.
in Carriacou.
Okay.
That is a
So I
band.
started a
Okay.
band, and as BC just we had said,
Uh-huh.
the home of the band was in the rectory.
Okay.
So I had those guys playing the
Same Broco driving the van.
Yes,
My
yes.
father,
right,
Aitan, what they call him Aitan and Mason.
Mhm.
Same color shade.
right,
Okay.
Yeah, and I did with them.
yes,
That's where I started into music. I
Yeah.
remember that. So I could have access to instruments.
yeah, because
Okay.
you see the thing about it, I always feel that Carriacou needs to develop the skills. We have skills here,
Mm-hmm.
and we have people.
Mm-hmm.
All we need is them to just come together to do it.
Okay.
And I
Never
started.
forget that
Okay.
white drum set, Yamaha drum set.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Thing
I
is
bought it down from the US. Yeah, but it's the whole
the whole
system.
thing. Yeah.
I remember we used to back the Calypsonians too.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes, in the tennis court. Yes,
Mhm.
for the match granting like that. Yeah.
Well, Kim, you can't finish talking about everything today, right?
no.
And I could hear people like, what's his name, Arthur Langine and Grant Islaya and all of them saying, Kim, you forget to talk about this, or
Yeah.
Kim, you forget to talk about that. I'm waiting for the comment.
No, because you see, the
There's
thing
so
about it
much,
is that-
there's so much,
Yeah,
there's so
because
much,
I've been
there's so
involved,
much.
you know, see, the
Yeah,
thing about
there's
it
so
is
much.
that Carriacou, like I always say, I love my Carriacou, and I want to see Carriacou raise to the next level and get recognition.
Nice.
And wherever I could have made an impact, whatever I could have done, I didn't hesitate.
Yeah.
Well, Kim, I would
Never
say
did.
that's where I got that passion too from you and Mr. Leo Joseph.
Mhm.
I will continue to do all what I, BC Matters have to do to make sure Carriacou stays on top of there.
Nice.
And with that, I would ask you, and you're supposed to record that now, eh?
Yeah.
Kim
What's
the
it?
King, how many days
Days.
left before Christmas?
You want to hear?
I want to hear recording. I want to hear you say it.
No,
I want to hear Percy, and I want to hear your daughter, Katie, and then you say it and you play the song.
Okay, well, okay, all right, okay.
And I want you to put the mic in front. You want to have the station setting.
Yeah.
Man. You want
Okay.
you want to hear Percy?
Yes.
Yes.
This is Percy, and this is live Percy. Okay,
Okay.
listen to Percy.
Percy.
Hey, Fussy, behave yourself.
Mercy, behave. Yes. That's what you're saying.
But yeah, you see,
Don't touch the mic, Fussy.
because now what used to happen sometimes is that Percy would fly to the window, and there's a little piece of a wood that was by the window there, and sometimes peeping through, and you're making little thing at me, sometimes.
Stay, behave yourself, Fussy.
So
Man, we should have done live, but it's a pity.
we have to control Percy.
Right?
Believe me. But like I said, in many instances, people didn't realize
It was a real.
that's the real Percy that was involved in it.
All right.
And my daughter, my daughter, how many days for Christmas? She came into the studio and said, there we go.
Daddy, how many days left for Christmas?
And then I would say, this morning, 60 days left.
60 days left.
60 days, yeah.
And give us a Christmas song, man.
And then it started the motorcade song.
Oh,
That's all she wants to hear.
Yeah.
When you hear she's a party and fabulous, to me that.
and it's galloping. Life and kicking. Kim the King. You life and kicking. Hold on. Oh Lord, look me on top of the truck. Nice. Yeah, man.
Dominica.
Alrighty.
I
It was a Christmas song.
I was the one that made the song popular.
Yes.
Yes, of course, yes.
Not only that song, you made a lot of artists popular in Carriacou.
Of course.
And if I don't get me on the mic, I'll put it back in a voice note. I know for WCK, Burning Flames,
Yes.
but the two artists that you made popular here is Lucky Dube and Nasio Fontaine.
Yeah.
You made those artists here big in Carriacou. When I hear Lucky Dube for the first time, I thought, nah, that had to be Jamaica. And as I get older, I realized he was from South Africa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
A lot of artists.
you see what happened? Let me tell you something. In that, the radio station again was a factor in that.
Yes.
And when WCK came here, you won't believe it. Those guys left the hotel and they asking everybody, where is Kim the King?
Nice.
And they came into my supermarket and they all just joyful because I made them popular.
Yes.
All the music was popular. Yeah.
I can attest to that.
All of that. Because you see, to me, those guys, and there were two of them, that's from Carriacou, One from Wynwood.
Okay.
I think it's Wayne and Cornell from Wynwood in Dominica, because when I went to Dominica to visit them years after, the studio was in a little basement down in a little under house, You see how simple it was,
Yeah.
And they and I said, this is the way you guys been doing everything. I say, yes. And that's it. But when you hear the song coming out today, it was something else. So, and that was it. So we have a lot of, me in particular, have a lot of memories, that's something I could share. And like I said, I could just mention I could talk all day.
Right.
But anyway,
Listen.
let me give you a little Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's a love, joy, and celebration of God. Merry Christmas. It's a happy again. It's a love, joy, and celebration. I never see a paradise so house like people that they go. I can't be done, I've got my charm. And I reach people, we started singing this one. Merry Christmas, everyone. It's a love, joy, and celebration. Merry Christmas.
Like
with that,
Rena ready to go on the road.
Yeah, man, ready. Is that drum here?
Yeah.
That drum here. Last night we we was in the credit union thing,
Yeah.
and well, you know, string music is a jumbie, and then the crowd they want a parang. I say, well, no, but parang for me starts on the 1st of November, but they insist, so we have to clock in a few Christmas songs, and that went to another level.
Right.
Yeah,
The 1st of November.
Yeah, right.
After burial, this is giving us some hope.
Of
Because a lot of
course.
people are saying, oh, nothing is happening, things kind of dead. They need something to build people's spirit. People are depressed. So, I mean, Christmas and music is just healing to the soul.
Yeah,
It is.
definitely.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to even this Christmas again.
Of course.
And hopefully, as I'm going to take you at word to what you're saying there,
Organized.
I'm going to ask you to help organize. All
There
right?
will be once you tell
You
me
see the
that,
handshake? You
That's
see the
a deal.
handshake?
of
You see the
course it
deal?
is a deal.
Right.
We have it a motorcade this year.
All right.
Casta, I know you're watching this. Casta is one of Kim right hand man.
All right. So,
Yeah.
all right. So, if you're watching this and you want to be part of the organizing team, link Kim or myself. We're gonna organize a motorcade for Christmas.
All right.
Say the word.
Deal.
That's it. Deal.
Nice.
Deal.
Look out for us.
Look out for us.
All right.
Meals is a
Okay.
A Mills is a Mills.
All right. Okay. Take care.
All right.
All right.
Bye.
Okay. Bye now.